Hey everyone, Rach Cox here. Hope you're well. Today here in Australia, I think it's just an Australian thing. It's called Are You OK Day, which is such a beautiful and great incentive. And my son Rem is a huge advocate of Are You OK Day. And it's actually brilliant because today's video is going to be quite a, I wouldn't, it's around that mental health. So I just want to ask you all, are you okay? If not, I'm here. Or if you don't want to speak to me, please bring a friend. There's loads of help out there. I don't want anyone to feel lonely or alone. And what a fabulous day. I've already had my gorgeous friend Retha just texted, are you okay? Great incentive. And so if you know anyone that you think might not be feeling okay, today is a good day to reach out. So I'll pop a link in the description box for Are You OK Day as well. It's fabulous incentive. So it's funny. Sorry, it's Friday, and I've just, is it Friday? I don't actually even know if it is. I think it's Thursday. I think it's Thursday. This happens in lockdown. Yeah, Midsummer Murders was on last night, and that was Wednesday, so it is Thursday today. So I actually recorded a few videos at the beginning of the week, and there was something wrong. I didn't feel like they were right, and I've listened to a couple of them again, and I realised that obviously I was feeling a little bit bitter earlier on in the week because that was coming through in the videos, and I can't heal or teach from a place of bitterness, so that was what was wrong with them. So I just deleted them, and that's why I'm not going to say to you this channel I'm going to post Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I have to post when I'm in the right frame of mind as well, and I'm inspired to teach you. So it won't be a channel like that. It's not how I roll. So it'll just be a channel. I mean, you might get 2 videos today. I think you are going to, because I'm so excited this morning. But during the week, I got the most beautiful, I've been getting such beautiful messages from this channel, and people reaching out that I haven't heard from for a very long time. And I got the most stunning message as I was lying in bed the other night from a dear friend in Adelaide, just an extraordinary woman. And she's been through a hell of a lot in her lifetime. And today's post is inspired by her. And it's just apt that today is Are You OK Day, because it's all related. And so this post today is about, I remember I had 3 miscarriages, and the first one I had, I remember this dear friend Tash coming up to me and saying, because I was devastated, obviously, first child, and you lose it, and it's like, oh. But she always said, you only get given what you can handle. So you're strong enough to handle this, Rachel. And it was so beautiful, and one of those things that I've never, ever forgotten. So thank you, Tash. Words of wisdom. Never forgotten that. And the next thing is, and there's 2 tie in together, is that, the more the harder the experience, the bigger the growth. So, I'm a big advocate for saying that we come and go in this life, in this, this isn't our only life, okay? This is, we've got, a temporary visa, so to speak, to come in here and experience this. We're an energetic being at our core, and this physical experience that we're experiencing this time, and I believe that we've experienced them many times, is one that we've chosen to experience. And no matter how tragic and vile the experiences are that we experience here, that is, we've also chosen to experience that because our soul was yearning for that growth, right? So, we've all experienced tragedy in our lives in different ways. But I'm all about changing the way you look at things so that you can bring peace into your life on a day-to-day basis, to be that grounded, centered, knowing, wise person that knows actually everything that's happening around me I can handle, A, because it's for my growth, and I've chosen to experience it. I don't need to panic. Everything is fine. And I'm going to be wise enough and aware enough to learn something from this situation. That's why your energetic body is so brilliant and fantastic, and why you need to know about it. Now, I'm not going to get it carried away. This is the second time I've recorded this video because I just went on a massive tangent on the other one. So I'm going to keep it to the first one that I was inspired to. So the lady that inspired me is from a fabulously cool family in Adelaide. There's about 1,000 of them. They're just cool. They're, those sorts of families that just, are artists and musos, and they're just different thinkers, and, they're just cool. You know about them, and they're one of those families. And one of them, they have had their fair amount of tragedy, like huge amounts. I suppose the bigger the family, the more you're probably going to experience. But this was inspired by one of those members of that family reaching out to me the other day. Now, this beautiful lady lost a son in the Bali bombings, tragically. And I always think of her because it's just, a tragedy and a shock that is so great that, you've got to be a really, really, really strong person to be able to transcend the darkness that will come from that. But that is the secret. If you can transcend that darkness within and bring it to light, your soul will experience, I've got goosebumps everywhere. Your soul will experience so much peace and healing, it will be next level. So you experience that tragedy so that you can go within and transform that darkness and that hatred, that bitterness, that anger, that grief, that, all that stuff. You're going to be able to, hopefully, I'll give you some tips and tricks to transcend that energy, to turn that energy into the light, into the positive, so that you can live in the most extraordinary place of peace. And once you hit that point, that's when the healing begins, right? So I'm going to tell you my own story. I know we've all got stories. We've all been through tragedies, but it was so weird. And, I say it's so weird, but it actually isn't. It's everything happens for a reason. Every single thing, whether it's bad or good, it just happens. The universe works in that way that everything that happens is perfect. Even if it seems like the biggest piece of crap, it's actually perfect. So it was my birthday on the weekend. Thank you. I do love a birthday. It's my favorite day of the year. All my friends know that. It's very special. Just this year I couldn't have lots of people over. Thank God it's not my big 50th this year. So my beautiful sisters in Adelaide, bought me a reading. They know me too well. So I organised to have a Skype with Wendy in Adelaide at 11 a.m. And she, we were just talking about a few things, work and whatever, but she brought up, so, when you have a reading and people come in that have passed over, and sometimes, and this little guy always comes to visit me. So this is all going to make sense at the end. In 2015, we were living in Singapore, and our eldest, Jemima, had just finished year 12. And so the whole cohort was, they'd been together for however many years, and they were all going off to different places, different parts of the world. And it was so exciting, big new adventure, and just got their results, and everyone did really well. And, it was just new beginnings and happy times and exciting times. And, oh, where are you going? And what are you doing? And all that kind of thing. Sad in a way because I was leaving, like, we were the party house in Singapore. All the kids came to our house. There was always just like bodies on the floor and people coming and going every time. But it was so much fun. And, I hate that because when you're away, that whole cohort goes. And so, I don't have Tejo playing on the piano anymore and singing and Reno singing. And, it's just, there won't be that anymore. But, a great adventure for them. And it was January. And this isn't the so good part. When I just will never forget this day as long as I live, because it was like I was lying in bed. The sun was shining through the windows. I remember it was beautiful. It must have been a Sunday. And I reached for my phone. And that horrible feeling when there's like 2,000 text messages, ring me, Rachel, it's urgent, da-da-da-da, where's Jemima? And it's like, oh my God, just breathe, what's happened? So I walked out onto the balcony, took a deep breath, rang my girlfriend. I said, what's up? And she said, are you sitting down? And I said, what's happened? And she said, it's Jacob. Now, we have a son, Jacob, and he was in Melbourne with his girlfriend at the time. And my daughter had a boyfriend also called Jacob. They weren't seeing each other at the time, but they had for all their childhood been together. And so my first thought was, it's Jacob, my son. So I'm going, what's happened? And she said, oh, he's had a fall. And I said, right, okay. And is he okay? And she said, no, I'm sorry, he's passed away. And my heart just sank. And I just remember saying, Linny, which Jacob are you talking about? And she went, oh my God, I'm so sorry. No, it's JK. And I, just as bad. But it was like, oh my God. And I remember just sitting at the foot of my bed and just, Jules was like, what's wrong? And I just went, JK's died. And, I was just thinking, I have to go upstairs now and, tell my daughter that her, her first love has passed away. And it was literally one of the hardest things I've had to do in my entire life. And something I'll never, ever forget. And I know I'm not the only one that's been through this. And, it's one of those just horrendously sad moments. And I remember her friends just being the most beautiful angels. One of them actually had just landed in Sydney and turned around and came back. I don't even know if she'd left the airport. She just got on the next plane. Dear old Elle, Meg was there, and all the boys were there, and everyone was just surrounding her, like just would not let her go. They slept in her bed by her side for I think 10 days. Didn't leave her side. And that day, all the kids came over to our house with this beautiful pool and this crazy trampoline, and there were just bodies everywhere. 30 kids and there was no noise. There was just, I just remember looking at the trampoline. There were just 9 kids on there, just all looking at the sky. And there were 2 in the pool, and one had their head on the other, and it was just like, what is going on? It's like those moments where it's just so surreal. And it's the shock as well. And I know that I went through periods of just being so angry, angry because I didn't want my baby girl to suffer. I didn't want that to happen to her, to deal with that kind of pain that early on in your life is just unfair. It seems unfair. That's how we look at it. But, we do have to look at that differently. But, and the grief never goes. It's here, but I can process it better now. I'm not sad that he's gone. I know he's happy where he is. I know that 100%. I'm just sad for the people left behind, for his dear mum, and for his brother and sister, and for my little baby girl and my kids. They saw him as their brother because he just grew up in our house, and sometimes I find myself thinking, I wish we didn't ever go to Singapore. I wish they never met, or I wish whatever, but you can't, you do think like that sometimes, and I know, especially if it's a tragic death and unexpected, it's worse. It's okay if someone dies like my granny at 90 and passed away peacefully in her sleep. That's not a tragedy. That's beautiful. She's going home to pup and everyone else, and it's happy. But these sorts of ones are challenging, and so these things will happen to those that can handle it, right? And this next bit was the bit that I wanted to share, especially with this beautiful girl that reached out to me, who will know who it is. But so you have that sort of emotion and that sadness, and I did some readings with Mimes, actually, because I do tarot readings as well, and she always wants the cards whenever she comes over. So one day we did one, and he came up, and I said, look, it's a hangover from a past life. So you've come in really quickly, met each other when you're 13 and had this intense relationship, and then this happened, and it's this had to happen early in your life so that you could learn the lesson and then move on to whatever is next, and she understands that, but it's really interesting because what Wendy said to me the other day changed my entire view and healed in a way with these few words that was extraordinary. It changed my perspective of the whole series of events and the whole union. And she said to me, she said, oh, your daughter had someone that passed. I said, yes. She said, oh, he's here now. And I was like, hi, JK, how you going? Good. He's always so happy up there, flying around, and it's all good. And she said, look, he's just saying he knew that this life wouldn't be a long one. He knew it would come and go pretty quickly. And then she said to me, she said, he's just saying that he chose Jemima as his partner because he wanted to experience love before he left. And I thought, oh my God, that is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. And, me looking at it in terms of a tragedy and feeling so sorry for her and, his family and things like that, that just sort of brought it all into perspective. And I just thought, how awesome that she had that experience, and how awesome that he was able to feel that before he left. So I like to say to my friend today that your son chose you as his mother for 2 reasons. Because you're strong enough to handle this, and B, because he wanted to feel unconditional love his entire life. And I can guarantee you that you gave him that, and he would have left when he left with a heart that was so full of love for his beautiful mum, it would be extraordinary. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. It's I'm all about perspective and changing the way you look at things, because we are only experiencing this particular lifetime for a short while, and we actually experience our lifetime a lot of the time with the people we've spent time with before. So Jules and I know, have had so many lifetimes together. My mum and dad and I have, other people in my life have. So you come and go together in different lifetimes to learn and grow as well. So I have no doubt that you will experience a lifetime again with him. And I have no doubt that when you pass from this lifetime into the next, he's going to be the first face you see. And I have no doubt that actually he's here with you now. I had 3 miscarriages and 4 children. And those 3 children, actually I've met and I have a relationship with in the non-physical as well. I have a little one. I had a miscarriage in Singapore. Not many people know that, but so he'd probably be 6 or 7 now, I think. He comes to me all the time. He like literally knocks into me, particularly when I'm asleep. They always come, when you're asleep. But I know they're there and they're growing up on the other side. My 3 are with my Nornie and my Nan, and I know they are. And I've met them all, and I know exactly what they're like as people and what they look like, and there's 2 boys and a girl and whatever. So you still exist. You just don't exist in this physical form. So I hope that through sharing that with you, you can see that there's a few lessons, the bigger and more, the bigger the experience, the greater the learning, the greater the knowledge, the greater the soul's growth, okay? So you're not just this little person in this big, wide world. You're so much more than that. There's so much more to you. You exist on such a bigger plane, and I want to teach you all about it because it freaks me out how awesome it is. You're just this magical being that is, if I could show you what you look like, and if I could make you feel the love that's inside you, I want to share it with you. I want you to know it. So, some of us choose to come down here to be healers. So we do all the work for you. So we can bring in the light. We can bring in the information to be able to heal you. So all that I've been going through in the last 7 years has been massive. I can't tell you how massive it's been. Tragic deaths, financial distress, marriage breakups, moving countries, like anxiety and depression. It's just been so many. But I have to stay in a place of, this is for my growth. If I can transcend those, every little one that comes to me, or big one, if I can transcend that and clear that energy out, and I know maybe, I've chosen to clear all this stuff because I'm getting all this new information through, and I can't get that through if the old stuff's in there. I've got to clear that out so I can get the new light in, and then I can teach you better. But please know that these things only happen to those that can handle it. You're stronger than you think you are. And it happened to you so that you can become aware and you can learn how to transcend and transform that energy. I know inside you there'll be so much anger and fury even, and grief and sadness and every emotion. But if you can transcend that, I can't tell you what's going to happen. If you can bring peace to that situation, your growth will be phenomenal. And that's when the peace starts, That's when you attain that peace. That's when the healing starts. That's when the healing starts. So don't forget, it's Are You Okay Day. So please reach out to someone and ask if they're okay. I'm sending you loads of love and light always, and take care. And next one, we're going to be talking a bit more about my absolute love of energy, but also about letting go. The hardest thing I've had to learn, but I think I've actually finally just learned it. All right, until next time, loads of love. Bye.